Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are watching or listening from. This is Leadership Talk with Adegoke, another episode on leadership and unlocking your potential. I have with me a good friend, a brother, and a former classmate in my MBA class, Sinari Bolade Daranijo. How are you today, sir?
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing?
Yes. Tell us, who is Bolade Daranijo? Sinari Bolade Daranijo. Yes.
Um, I'm basically a multipreneur who understands the fact that other people need to maximize their potential.
Okay.
And all my entrepreneurial activities are basically based on assisting as many people as possible
Awesome.
and making sure that I impact the world at every stage of life.
Wow. Wow. That's so good. Now, you have your book that just come out, Unlocking the Genius Within.
With
I'm so proud of you. I am also an author of the book Customer Retention and Experiential Approach, and I know what the book has done for my brand. I just wanted to, what's the reason for this book? I mean, what's the idea behind the book?
Well, I'm gonna tell a little story.
Yes.
Um, a while ago, I mean, a long while ago,
Yeah.
because this book has been in the works for years.
Awesome.
I walked I walked into a friend's house whose son was a classmate to my son. And I heard him speaking to the son and, in a derogatory matter, pushing him out. And this boy just sat there. He took a pencil and a paper and he
Hmm.
put together an image of me in less than 20 minutes. A
Wow.
split image of me sitting down in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Then, as I really went to the house to actually have a chat with my friend regarding his wife, who was a cake maker. His wife was making cakes and using the kitchen, and he was becoming very, very, he was just not taking it. He was, everything was dissatisfying to him. His son was coming last in class. His wife was dirtying the whole place with her cake making stuff. And he was just like, what is all this going on? And the wife reached out to me and I said, no worries, I'll come speak to him. So I go in there and say to him that first things first, your wife's business has a potential growth that you would not believe.
Hmm.
I'll have a conversation with her and tell her exactly what can happen with her business. For your son, people are built and born differently. We all come talented and we need to self-discover ourselves so that we can focus on our best path to success.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the educational system does not allow you to maximize your potential.
That's
You
right.
have to follow primary, secondary, and most people even end up getting all the way to university education with a course that they never dreamt of doing.
Wow.
With go and study and just get a degree. Then we have all the unemployment because there's no match.
Hmm.
Your entire genius, as I said,
Hmm.
does not match what you're doing. You
Hmm.
should be happy in what you're doing.
Hmm.
And it's not everyone that even wants to work for money.
Hmm.
Some are built to work for impact. If
Wow.
you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be an engineer, you must understand the social depth of every profession. You must understand that each of these professions have a social giveaway.
Hmm.
You can't want to be a doctor and want to be a billionaire in 3 years. If you want to trade and be a marketer, you would know by the way you interact with people. People will tell you that, hey, and today we can see talent speaking. The younger generation are pushing their talents. And I said we need to guide and help these people to direct them in where they're going.
Awesome.
Hence,
Okay. Okay. Let,
hence,
let me just jump in because I want to bring out and I know you have so much on your inside now. Now, how do you identify untapped potential? Which you talked about you in others, but in yourself, how were you able to identify your to unlock your potential?
I mean, for me, it's funny. Ever since I started school, even in primary school, I find myself just jumping up and becoming the class captain.
Wow.
Secondary school, I give direction to the space. I enter the space, a group of people, I just begin to direct and organize that space.
Hmm.
And that's just natural talent.
Hmm.
I can speak, I can convince people. It takes me to either being a lawyer or a marketer or whatever. But my parents actually wanted me to be a doctor. So I
Wow.
went through science classes with a distinction in English and economics and all those courses, and with credits in sciences. And I still went on to study biochemistry.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, my skill is actually oratory, being able to speak to people and making a difference in people's lives.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question, in terms of overcoming challenges. Tell us about a time that you faced significant self-doubt. And how did you push through
Wow.
while trying
So
to unlock your potential? Yeah, maybe, I know you've evolved into so many spaces over the year. You have a group of companies. Tell us about a time you overcame significant self-doubt and how you pushed through.
I'll tell you what, it's entrepreneurship is not for babies.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship is for people with vision and faith.
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, you start out, it's like launching into the deep.
Hmm.
You dive into an ocean that has no end, and you must know, the points that you need to break.
Hmm.
So for me, I understood that pretty early because one of the things I got was at 15, 16, rather than read novels like my youth, I was reading biographies
Wow.
and books.
Wow.
So my thinking and direction from that point on
Hmm.
was actually to be a problem solver and a
Okay.
solution provider.
Hmm.
And in that space, it was not very easy. It was difficult.
Hmm.
At various points where the first disappointment I got in business was when I tried to export some yams with all my working capital to the UK.
Wow.
I put all these products together, put them on a boat, sent them to the port. It was 22nd of 20th of December or something.
Yeah.
And the boat that was supposed to pick them up was cancelled.
Hmm.
And we had to wait till close to Christmas. So on the 24th, this boat left Nigeria for the UK. When he arrived in the UK, there was holidays till the 1st of January. Guess what happened to all the yams?
Got spoiled.
They got I lost my entire working capital.
Wow.
And everything I had put together at 28.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, this must be the end of it. But going forward, I had to rethink and say, okay, so what next? What's the next thing on the move? And I must tell you, faith plays a great part
Hmm.
in your, especially living in Africa.
Hmm.
You just have to keep on keeping on.
Wow.
God meets you at the point of your need,
Wow.
and then continue again. Some
Wow.
of it you can't, some of it you have to be at the edge of that water for the Red Sea to part.
Wow. Wow. Now, because I know you are a leader, and the title of this podcast is Leadership and Unlocking Your Potential. What does leadership mean to you? Because you've evolved over the years. What does leadership mean to you?
So, leadership is actually servanthood.
Okay.
Also being able to understand the people that you're trying to bring forward.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, you need to understand that it's their potential that you need to maximize
All
to be able
right.
to reach where they want to reach. So
Okay.
being a leader is not being in front, it's being behind and pushing everybody forward.
Wow. Okay. So what separates, what are the the qualities that separates good leaders from great ones?
Like I said, a great leader is a leader that wants the people behind them to maximize their potential. He
Okay.
pushes forward and watches them go forward.
Hmm.
A good leader is one who stays in front and pulls everybody along from behind him.
Wow.
Simple as
Awesome. Which is unlocking other people's potential. Now, as we begin to wrap up, this book, who is this book meant for? I know we had a conversation earlier. Tell us.
so. Looking at it, the book is actually meant for everybody across board.
Okay.
Thinking about most people never even discover their potential
That's right.
till
Yeah.
retiring from work. So we're talking about people in the teenage ages and the middle age, and also people who have actually who think that they've reached the end of work and saying, "Hey, I'm retired. What next do I do?" Now you can do what you really want to do. You can do what you love to do while you're in school. But a lot of young people are actually expressing themselves today. Where we've got music, we've got. I mean, I had a kid just coming from the UK, and he says, "Look, I want to set up a salon and do locks." I said, "Look," he said, "dreadlocks." I said,
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. If that's what you want to, let's go.
There's
Let's
so much
push it."
money there. Yeah, there's so much
So
money.
for my generation, we can't see that, but they know what exactly they want to do. I want to be a chef. I mean, your son for like, I'm thinking chef, but we have to understand that now the chefs
Doctors,
are now
lawyers,
becoming
yeah.
more, and people are now respecting those professions. So all those professions that we thought were not on the normal line of education, university education, are actually the ones that are making the impact in the society today.
Awesome. It's been a wonderful session. But as I wrap up, I just have two more questions. What's the most important lesson you want our listeners to take away today that you've learned in life?
Do you?
Do you? Wow. So just be you, authentic. Wow.
Yes, be 100%.
Okay.
Don't let it impact you. Don't let people, speak to your behavior. Be who you are meant to be.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now you've heard from the man, a leader, an entrepreneur, an investor, a global player, Sinari Bolade Daranijo, the author of the book, Unlocking the Genius Within. It's been on this session of leadership and unlocking your potential. Now, I just have one more question for you. Where can people buy the book? Or say two more questions. Where can we, if we want to buy the book?
So at the moment, in a few weeks' time, the book will be on Amazon.
Okay.
It will be all media selling networks. But at the moment, we are doing our physical distributions, and anyone who wants a book should just communicate with us, and we'll send copies to them.
Okay, so what are your social media handles? So for people that want to get in touch.
On Instagram, it's just my name, Sinari Bolade Daranijo.
Okay. How about LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn or?
On LinkedIn, it's just my name too. Just Google me, find me on all the platforms.
Okay, wow. That's a confident leader right there. Yeah. He's saying that, he's all over the place. You can always reach him. Just Google Sinari Bolade Daranijo and you'll be able to lay your hands on this powerful book. Well, this is another session of Leadership Talk with Adegoke, and it's been an honor, privilege to speak with my brother and my friend on the topic leadership and unlocking your potential. Another episode of Leadership Talk with Adegoke. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day. Thanks.